Welcome back to Revolt Black News. I'm your guy, Rodney Rikai, here to have one of the more important conversations that we can have in our community, one about mental health. So the pandemic has been particularly hard on our people. As we've seen in some major cities, suicide rates have doubled within our community, while for other races, they have decreased. Here today to help us navigate this conversation is a man putting in work as an MC, but also as a mental health advocate, none other than Gherbo. Good brother, we appreciate you joining us, family.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Absolutely. How you doing today, first and foremost?
I'm good, man. How about yourself? I'm good.
I'm solid. So last summer you launched your organization Swerving Through Stress, which provides mental health care for Black youth. So a year in, how's that been going for you?
It's been good. It's been good, man. I would say a lot of a lot of people reached out as far as like resources, volunteer and stuff like that. And a lot of, the kids who I launched it for are taking it more serious with as to not necessarily just being able to talk to somebody about, that they where they are mentally, but just wanting to lean more on the community. We got our facility in Chicago. Me and my partners, we bought a facility, and a lot of like, the local basketball programs and youth programs been doing a lot of stuff there. So not only was it just to be an outlet for people to, vent, but a lot of times, kids aren't necessarily ready or able to speak on, a lot of the trauma that they endured, but I think it helps to just keep them active. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Swerving Through Stress has been over the past year, just an outlet for the community where the kids could stay active, let alone, speak to somebody about their trauma and where they are mentally and get help. So a lot of people have been like volunteering, and I've been getting a lot more resources and stuff like that. So over the time, I feel like it's just gonna get bigger. So it's been real good over the past year.
Hey man, that's fire. And I don't think there's anybody else that would do a better job than you being like the face of something like this. People galvanize around you. Chicago has some of the most influential people on the face of the planet. And in the midst of all of that, you are somebody who is highly regarded and highly revered in the city. So shout out to you for doing this work, man. So when it comes in the wide range of subject matter in your music and just this age of hip hop, do you ever kind of worry that you have a group of fans who appreciate your tracks about PTSD and mental health, and then the other stuff could potentially go over their heads? And how do you reconcile the responsibility you have as an artist in making music for the next generation?
I mean, I would say that I do sometimes, but necessarily I don't worry too much about it because I feel like my music resonates with the people who it's for. You know what I'm saying? And I say that a lot. I think as an artist, it's better to just be yourself and just let everything come out naturally because it's a lot of people in the world, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people that relate to you, a lot of people understand, and there's a lot of people that don't. So when I speak on mental health and, PTSD and trauma I endure, I'm speaking on it from a level of experience and from a way where I just want to be able to help people deal with a lot of their trauma because a lot of people are alike, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like me, been through the same things I've been through and been through a lot worse. So I feel like that's why I speak on it. And then the other stuff, it may or may not go over their head because at the end of the day, I am an artist. I have to be creative. I'm still growing as a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a father. I'm a lot of things. So I feel my music is just really a reflection of who I am as a person, and I use it as an outlet. Music always been like a form of therapy for myself. I rap to get a lot of stuff off my chest and to help people as well. So I'm helping myself or I'm helping other people. So I feel just over the time, I'm able to like articulate my thoughts and my feelings a lot more like clearer, you know what I'm saying, a lot better. I get wiser. So I feel like it's only going to help the people who understand grow with me as I grow, you know what I'm saying, as a man, as an artist. I feel like they just going to grow with me. So um, I don't like intentionally just make music for
Mm-hmm.
for people to, you know what I'm saying, kind of know why I am mentally, my mental health space and just to help people. It just comes out naturally because that's the person I am. So I think that's why people resonate to it the way they do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about drug and substance abuse, which has been tough for a lot of people in our community. A lot of us are still mourning the loss of Juice World, who passed in December 2019. You had the opportunity to collaborate with him in your title track PTSD. What was that experience like working with him? What kind of man was he?
No, Juice was my little brother, man. It was our relationship much deeper than just music. So it came out natural, like the whole record, PTSD. I felt like it wouldn't be anybody else that fit on the record as much as Juice did. I intentionally made the record for him to be on it. You know what I'm saying? We went in the studio together or nothing when I made the song, and I named my album PTSD. Of course, the title track, I always wanted Juice to be on it because he was somebody that openly spoke on, you know what I'm saying, his mental health space and where he was mentally and the trauma that he endured and substance and drug abuse. Because I too was, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
addicted to drugs, addicted to pills and promethazine with codeine and smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? Doing a lot of that just to
yeah,
cope with a lot of the stuff that I've been through in this industry as an artist, especially an artist as big as Juice. It's a lot of adversity that you got to overcome behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? So, um, my relationship with Juice was a strong relationship. You know, we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about uh, our drug addiction for one. Just talked about the way you have to like deal with this industry head on. You know, you got to embrace it. You gotta accept what comes with it. And I feel like that's how you overcome a lot of this stuff. You know, because Juice was growing so fast, and a lot of his problems was coming to him 1,000 miles a minute. So I used to tell him like, you know, you got to deal with it. You got to just face it head on, like whatever it is, whether it's problems with your girl, whether it's problems with the music industry, whether it's you being frustrated with how your music come across to people. You just got to be yourself and be openly, you know what I'm saying, vulnerable about a lot of this stuff. So I feel like it was perfect for me to put him on the record, you know what I'm saying, and it did what it did. You know, him meeting his demise at, you know what I'm saying, such a young age, such an early time, of course it touched everybody. It affected me in a specific way because I had a personal relationship with him, you know what I'm saying, as my little brother. And I think about him every day, of course. So I just I'm glad that his legacy will always be remembered, and a lot of people are taking, you know, mental health a lot seriously, especially after you know what I'm saying, his passing. And you know, drug and substance abuse is real, man. A lot of people take drugs. I myself took drugs because we don't really know how to deal with a lot of the stuff that we face on a day-to-day basis, and we use it as an escape, as a gateway to not deal with a lot of these things. But at the end of the day, you have to. When you wake up the next day, you still gonna be, you know what I'm saying, having the same problems. You still gonna face adversity. You still gonna face
yeah,
trauma, and a lot of stuff is gonna actually happen more than it has before. I feel like as you grow as a person, and as you get older, your life and your problems only get harder. So you got to learn how to deal with that without leaning on something else, you know. And it's hard. It's not an easy thing to do. You know, a lot of us need help when it comes to that. So I'm glad I could be a person that people look up to and try to get help and help them, you know, face a lot of their problems and the stuff that they're going through without necessarily just having to lean on drugs. Because I speak openly about me being addicted to drugs, about me having to go to a rehab facility, a detox facility more than once to get myself off of drugs. You know what I'm saying? So if I can help anybody in any way, I'm just happy to be able to because it's a serious matter.
sure, man. And we're proud of you, you know, for putting that work in. It's not an easy thing by any stretch of the imagination. And that means, you know, when you have that level of fame, when you have that money, you know, to take a time out and say, y'all got to get myself together. Like I'm not where I want to be, where I should be. So for you to pause your life and go to rehab is tremendous, brother. And I salute you for that. Like for real,
Man,
that's major.
sure.
So, you know, as you just said, it's certainly no secret, you know, Juice World put his pain or any self-medication he felt in his music, his lyrics, you know, and then you look at an older hip hop generation like a Juicy J of 3 6 Mafia, who a couple weeks after Juice passed said, you know, if I inspire anybody to do drugs, I apologize. So this isn't to put any blame or any responsibility on anyone whatsoever. You know, I just want to be clear about that. But I do want to ask, you know, what conversation do you think is worth having going forward in our culture, in our music for our younger generations?
I think the conversations worth having is for people to understand. You know, a lot of times they put a stigma on a black man, of course, but the younger generation, as far as all the negativity that's going on, all the killing and all of that stuff, but it really just stems from generational trauma. You know, the stuff that we learned from our fathers and our grandfathers and our mothers, and people who we looked up to growing up. And like you said, it's not to blame nobody, but I want people to understand that nothing in life is a coincidence. 2 + 2 always equal 4. So it's just having to go back and, reverse the steps and just retrace and figure out what do we do to get here. A lot of the killing and stuff like that that been going on for generations only comes from trauma and people having post traumatic stress and feeling like they can't leave out the house without a gun or they will die. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's not to judge anybody. You shouldn't judge people. And one of the conversations that need to be held is understanding why a lot of these kids are hooked on drugs, understanding why there's so much violence and stuff like that going on in the community. And a lot of it is because of music. I used to blame myself for a lot of the stuff that went on in Chicago because I was so young. I started rapping at 15, 16 years old, and we rapped about violence and the stuff that we seen was going through, but it was only because we were in the midst of it. I was only a product of my environment and the things that I learned and the stuff that I felt was right or wrong and that was taught to me just by growing up in the inner city of Chicago, on the east side of Chicago. It's not because I wanted to promote violence. It's not because I wanted others to go out and kill each other, but I felt like my life was at danger. My life was at stake. I seen a lot of trauma. I experienced a lot of trauma in my early age. And that was the only way I knew how to deal with it was by adapting to it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like those are the conversations that need to be held. More people like myself need to speak out about it and try to just, help the youth and let them know it's not cool. That's not really the way to go to, lean on violence. Because at the end of the day, all we doing is killing our people off. We need to come together and just try to figure out ways where the youth don't have to make the same mistakes that we did. So that's why I did launch Swerving Through Stress, because a lot of these kids experience a lot of trauma early on. You know what I'm saying? They seeing their brothers die, their sisters die, their mothers, their fathers go to jail, and they feel like the only thing that they can do is adapt and, lean more towards the negativity that's going on. But I feel like if I didn't go through a lot of the stuff I went through early on, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. So you got to understand both sides of it and just figure out how to take your pain and your trauma and turn it into something positive. You know what I'm saying? Put it into your craft, put it into sports, put it into your school work, and put it into anything that's going to get you out of that environment and not keep you into it.
Yeah. We definitely got to change how normal it is to see young black people dying. Like it's normal.
Normal.
Like it doesn't make any sense. At 5, 6 years old, you start to understand that at any given moment, your life could be taken away. You got to go the rest of your life just trying to be normal in your thought process. That's not a normal thing to understand that at any given moment, you have to deal with and cope with death and potentially your own. Like that's not healthy. So it's no wonder people are taking drugs to escape that reality, because that's a horrendous truth to live under, that no other group of people on this planet have to live with day in and day out, like like black men that in this country have to deal with. This it's spooky,
Exactly.
bro.
And
Yeah,
in the
man.
age that you have to learn it, be comfortable with it, and normalize it is is insane. Where you have to be 5 years old, 6, 7, 8 years old, where you still learning how to be a kid. You still learning how to function. Your brain is not even fully developed. You got to process death. You got to process violence and negativity. So when you process that at such a young age, there's no coincidence, or what I'm saying, people should understand why you grow up, and that's a big part of the stuff that you know and the stuff that you do and the way you react to certain situations through violence because you taught it at such an early age.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. We can talk about that all day long. I got too many
For
friends who are
sure.
no longer here, just as I'm sure you do. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We don't know when this pandemic is officially going to be over. Although, if you look at Atlanta, if you look at Texas and some other places, Miami, it never it never started. But to
Yeah,
anybody
definitely.
out there who's still struggling, to deal with these times, to have to deal with the isolation, to deal with really only having their own voice to rely on day in and day out as they've been isolated and alienated from their friends and family. Do you have any words that you want to leave them with to help them get through these dark times?
Yeah, man, just to, like I said earlier, just lean towards it. You know what I'm saying? You have to lean towards a lot of the adversity and the things that you face in life and move past it. You know what I'm saying? Maneuver through the obstacles that life throw at you. You know what I'm saying? And the way that I do it is understanding that I'm not the only person that's going through tough times. Of course, especially being in a pandemic, you aren't the only person that's in it. You know what I'm saying? The whole world, the entire globe is going through a pandemic. even in, you know what I'm saying, these cities who open, Atlanta, Texas, stuff like that, it's hard for a lot of people financially. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people
Mm.
are sick. You know, a lot of people's mothers, fathers have died from COVID. You know what I'm saying? So I believe it's just trying to find something or the small things that make you comfortable enough to, you know, want to continue to strive day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? And um, I do it, like I said, by just knowing that I'm not the only person that's faced adversity, or not the only person that has problems. I'm sure people have much worse problems than I do. And I just try to find the little things that keep me going. You know what I'm saying? My music, me being a father, you know, a lot of people depending on me and looking up to me. You know what I'm saying? And of course, me too. I go into mental and emotional slumps where I shut down and where I feel depressed and stuff like that. But I just got to snap out of it and find, like I said, the little things that just make me want to keep on going, you know. And I feel like when you do that and you overcome whatever obstacles that you have to overcome, it feel like a lot of this stuff never happened. You could look back and reflect on it, and of course, it may have made you stronger as a person. But when you get through these things, you actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're not feeling depressed anymore. You're able to, like, you know, set goals for yourself and just keep reaching newer heights. So like a lot of the stuff that I went through, of course, it made me who I am, but I'm not waking up every day feeling like I'm in that situation or at that stage of my life anymore. I could go back and reflect on it, but I'm not there. So I feel like you just got to keep working every day to, you know, not be there anymore, not be in the state that you are right now at the moment.
Is there any way for people that are interested in swerving through stress to be involved or learn more? Where can people find information out about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My initiative, we have a website, of course, swervingthroughstress.com. People can reach out all over social media. I have handles who are on my Twitter, on my Instagram that I check in DMs, tweets, and messages every day. And we reaching out to, you know, other doctors and therapists and just other people with resources where we can just come back and, you know, put them into the community, man. Whether you are an athlete, another artist, or you want to just help people with, like, you know, techniques and stuff where they could function mentally on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? So of course Instagram always been like a major platform for us to, you know, stay in contact with people who want to help. So I would say really Instagram is the main way to do it right now. And of course you can go on the website. We have a 24-hour suicide line and you know, where you could talk to somebody and stuff like that. Where you could just go on the website and call this number and somebody there all hours of the day.
Sure. Hey, Black man, I appreciate you, bruh. Like this was a great conversation. Thank you for your time, sincerely. Like I really
Thanks
really
for
mean
having
that.
me, bro.
Absolutely. An incredibly important conversation for our people because they need to hear it, but they also need to hear it from someone like yourself. So we hope you'll be back soon.
Hey y'all, now for full episodes of Revolt Black News, tune into Revolt TV. And if your cable provider doesn't carry it, make sure you reach out and let them know that you're trying to join the revolution. I'll see y'all every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on Revolt.